In the beginning, the average man-child only dreamt that one day, he can enjoy a fresh slice of za with the boys while talking about random topics average human beings may deem deplorable, disgusting, and maybe even downright insulting. Now an average man-child who cannot consume that sweet succulent za brings that dream to life with this meaningless podcast, which showcases how far humanity has fallen. Bless all forms of intelligence.
Hello, welcome back. Today a very special guest, Barrett Linke, my man.
How are you doing? Hello.
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Pretty good. Glad to be here.
Now, Barrett, you're a photographer.
Yes, I am. An amateur photographer. Nothing professional.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about that. Tell me like what it's like.
Well, last summer in June, I decided to save up and buy a camera with my own money. So I had a friend of a friend who was selling a used camera, and it was a nice like Sony A65. It's like $1,000 new. And he was offering me that and another lens for around $650. So like, that's what I spent on it. My best purchase ever. It was a very good purchase.
Damn.
And so I just started asking my friends if I could like go out and like photo shoot with them and everything, and I ended up liking it. So that's what I do. I have a little bit of free time, but
do you make like any money off of it?
No. I kind of like asked them to like shout me out a little, get my name out there a little more.
Right.
I don't do it for money yet because I don't think I'm good enough for that, I guess.
I've seen your shit. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still working on it, and I'm saving up for another lens. Actually, my friend told me that I could get an opportunity to shoot for the football team this year.
Oh, damn, really?
He said he's going to talk to Mr. Lee about it, so
that's pretty sick.
If I could do that, that'd be pretty dope.
Did you, like, I saw on your story, like, a couple days ago, you were doing it, like, with some band? Were you, like, doing photography shit with them? Or
I wasn't with them. I have a friend, Mark, who, him and his band just put out an album. Shout out, real quick. Yeah. Enjoy Being on Spotify by Drive, Kid. All right. And
cool.
yeah, they had a show at Brighton Bar.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, they had a few cool bands there.
That's sick.
I'm their number 3 fan. One of my best friends, Nick, he just drove me here. He's his best friend, and he produced everything. He produced and mixed their entire album, and he just went to school for that.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool. And I didn't do any photography for them, but I just came to support them, whatever. But I am going to eventually shoot for bands like my mom's boyfriend, Rob. He has a band, and he's asking me to shoot for him. So as soon as I get the right equipment, I'll do that too.
Right, that's cool. I recently, like, I'm into film and all that shit. So I like do videography. I use Canon. Like my mom has a Canon camera. Jajit, he shot like a couple of skit things. He has a Canon as well. I think it's like a Rebel. I think like an EOS.
Oh yeah. My friend's also into like film and everything, but he's on the other end. He like edits everything and like puts it all together like that. Is that like what you do, or?
Yeah. Well, I typically. It's hard because especially during this time of year. It seems like everyone, like, it's summer break. It seems like everyone's, like, just hanging around. Yeah. But it's, like, the complete opposite, especially with kids our age. Everyone's working like dogs, like, either school shit or work.
Everyone's working now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like, I mostly just do everything myself. I write my own stuff. I shoot my own stuff. Like I put out something with Jajit, Jacob, and Brandon, like, a couple months back, and that was pretty cool. But and it's always nice to have like an extra
I always wanted to like, you know, do like a Casey Neistat kind of thing and just like go out and just like shoot different things, put together like a montage. Yeah. So like I live in Jamesburg. What's that? There's not too many special things to shoot there. If I lived in like New York City, it'd be a little different. Yeah. But once I go on vacation in August, I'll try and do that with my camera or something.
With all like that vlogging stuff, it's very like you don't really see it that popularized outside of like main cities like New York and LA, San Francisco.
LA's a big city for vlogging everything. I've never been there, but I imagine if you go on the streets, you'll just see people walking around with their camera up and everything.
Yeah. My family was actually gonna go to California like a couple weeks ago. We ended up going to Boston instead.
Which is a cool city.
Boston, we went. It was mostly for like college stuff. So we went to Boston and then we went to Rhode Island. Boston was pretty cool. I really like the city. It's a very different aesthetic than New York.
Like, I feel like it's kind of chill. I've never been there, but I feel like it's pretty chill.
I hate New York. I hate New York City.
Really? I like New York, but it's just so annoying to get around.
It's just too hustle and bustle for me. Everyone's like packed in there like fucking rats, you know? It's insane.
Well, I honestly like Philly. I think Philly's a nice city just to like
I've never
walk
been
around.
actually.
But I hate Philly fans. Like and the people in Philly and Philadelphia fans, Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, all of them can't stand them.
They just throw riots and shit after games. It's insane.
Eat dog shit. Or no, horse shit. Sorry.
Yeah, that's crazy. Are you like do you believe in like paranormal shit? Like a lot of like ghost stuff?
I don't, but I think it's like I watch YouTube videos. I think it's like interesting to look into it.
I have a ghost story. Yeah. I was in Rhode Island. Rhode Island, first of all, it's a fucking like colonial like ghost. Half like Rhode Island, it's basically like colonial shit. That's probably like the most popular thing to do there. You go to all those colonial buildings, like the old mansions and all that.
It's like Virginia. If you go to Virginia, it's just like old history stuff, I guess. Yeah,
and there's a lot of cemeteries there too. And we stay after one hotel thing. I talked about this like last week, like a podcast, but I played it off as like a joke kind of. So I want to clarify. This is completely real. Basically, we stayed at this hotel after going to the University of Rhode Island for the day. We stayed at this hotel. It's apparently 10 minutes away from one of the most haunted hotels in Rhode Island. It's like it's one of the La Quinta Inns over there. And basically what happened was we went to sleep. We all had like everyone who was staying there, everyone in my family who stayed there. We all had sleepless nights, like nightmares and shit. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I felt the mattress depress next to me. I felt like something
somebody
leaned on it. Like somebody either leaned on it or like got in the bed with me. It was crazy. And then I was scared shitless. I was scared out of my mind. I shot up. I was like, ugh. I was like having like a panic. I flipped the light on. Nobody was there. Nothing was there.
That's creepy.
It's insane. And
if you like feel somebody do something, like if you like feel someone push down on a mattress like next to you, and then you turn on the light, there's no one there.
That's insane.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I would just leave.
Because I'm
out.
I wasn't really like a skeptic to begin. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in like a lot of spiritual shit. Like, and I'm not like I'm not spiritual in like a religious sense. You know what I'm saying? Like higher power and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's like this feeling like there's something out there, like something unknown, right?
See,
it's
interesting. I don't really believe in like ghosts and all that. I mean, even like superstitions. I'll walk under a ladder. I don't think anything will happen. I broke a mirror in 7th grade. I thought I was gonna die. But honestly, I hope to I believe in good superstitions. Like I'll say like, oh, look, a penny if it's face up or whatever.
Right,
like, oh, good luck. I got shit on by a bird the other day when I was playing wiffle ball.
Really?
So I was like, it never happened to me in my life. So I was like, oh, maybe like you're supposed to find money or something, or it's good luck or something. I had my friend drive me to Stop and Shop so we could get a lottery ticket. Spent $5 on lottery tickets. Guess how much I won?
What?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I mean, it's just always like that feeling of like the unknown that's out. That's always like been interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I love those. Have you ever seen those paranormal shows, like the ghost hunting shows? They're absolutely hilarious.
I love when they meme them and they put like voices behind it.
Like there was this one where the guy was like he was on a bridge. He was like on Goatman Bridge or whatever the fuck it's called, and he was like screaming out. He was like, "I'm on your bridge, Goatman, come get me," some shit. And the guy's like, "Oh, don't mess with him, man, don't mess with him." And he's like, that's one of the that's another big thing I did. Like I did like this thing with a couple of my friends. Like it was like about a year ago, I think. We did like this. I wanted it to be like this parody of like ghost shit and all that. Like I wanted it to be like 15 minutes long and all that stuff. I did it with a bunch of friends. But the problem was they were all high when I was doing it, so we didn't really get that much done. It was still salvageable. It was still pretty funny. I still look back on it. It has like a lot of views and all that shit.
Back to like superstitions. Like, do you remember Bloody Mary? Like,
Oh
when
my
you were
god,
little?
yeah.
Okay, so I went to JFK in Jamesburg
Right.
for school, right? In the bottom floor, it was basically the basement. There was a bathroom, a library, and a computer room, and like one little room in the back.
Right.
And that bathroom, no one used, and it was just dark in there. It was a little spooky. Like,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I was scared to go in there as a kid. So one day, like, some kids decided to like go in there and like try the Bloody Mary thing. I wasn't in that. I was like, hell no, I'm not stepping in that bathroom, and you're doing that shit.
Right.
So they did it, and then they came running out, and they were like, oh my god. I remember something like that. It's kind of blurry to me, but that bathroom is just sketchy, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I went to like this party like back in middle school. It was my friend Dallas's party, some shit. And he had like, there was a shit ton of people there, all around our age, like middle school age. And he has a Ouija board. He whipped out his Ouija board, right? He was like, oh, let's do all this Ouija board shit. I
never tried them.
I don't fuck with that shit. Even though like it's all on those paranormal shows, like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't touch the Ouija board, there's demons and shit. And I'm like,
I don't see how it works. I never
yeah,
looked into
but
it. But
still, like the fraction that it might like actually work, like the small percent that it might actually be like a
that's understandable.
spiritual thing, I'm like, I don't fuck with it. And then another one of the kids there, Alex, he was so afraid of it. He was so deathly scared of it. He like, everyone was chasing him around the house with the Ouija board. It was insane. But yeah.
Well, I used to go to Cape May every summer. We'd like rent like a little camper there, and we'd go camping.
Right.
It wasn't really camping,
Yeah.
but like we did everything that you do when you camp. You know, barbecue or bonfires, all that. And this campground, Holly Shores, there's a lot of Canadian people there for some reason. Just a lot of Canadian people. They all spoke like, I guess they speak French, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we just had a bunch of people in our camper, a bunch of random people, and my closer friends, the two girls that I've been there with every single summer. And so we were like, oh, why don't we try this like ghost thing? I don't remember what it was called, but basically, like, one person lays down and the rest put their two fingers underneath them, and then you say something, and they're supposed to like rise into the air.
All like those ghost challenges, like they're all so weird.
Do you remember the one challenge where you put the two pencils together?
Oh,
and it would like turn.
I forget what it's called. It's Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
Like you see like all those memes on Instagram and shit. It's like, oh, Charlie right there, and then like some guy like smacks the table. And
oh no, I seen one where they did it, and he was like, oh hell no, and then the camera turns, and then it's a naked guy. That's funny.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I just remember like last year when we were like in LAL class together, and like our teacher was just she was pretty like into that spiritual shit, and like Halloween, like we were all talking about it. Yeah, we were all talking about it. It's insane.
That was 2 years ago now. That's
really?
Like
oh my god.
Sophomore year.
Yeah. We're getting old, man. We're getting old.
We're seniors. You have your license, right?
Yeah.
I don't get mine until October.
Really?
October 3rd.
It's a piece of cake. It's easy.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just kind of like, I want it now. Like, I don't want to wait a whole another 2 months. Like,
do you have like a car lined up in mind?
Oh yeah, I might get a Jeep actually.
Oh sweet.
My grandpa's friend, he's up in upstate New York, but he's like, he has his Jeep back home in New Jersey, and he's like, oh, I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't use it at all. Yeah. And it's like a big tires and smaller body, so I'm guessing it's a Wrangler.
I have a Nissan Rogue. It's in the driveway. I don't know.
I saw it.
Yeah. It took me like 6 months to get it though. It was insane. Like, I got my license in December. I didn't get that car until like two or 3 months ago.
Didn't I see you outside in Jamesburg? I was coming back from the
firehouse. Oh
yeah. Yeah, I just got voted in that day, or I was picking up my papers or something to join the firehouse.
Oh really?
Yeah. I saw you guys.
Are you like part of the volunteer fire?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a junior firefighter, so really I can't do any firefighting.
So it's like training and stuff like that?
Yeah, they basically like teach me stuff, and then when I'm 18, I could go into fire school if I choose to do that, which I probably will. My grandpa, he's been a firefighter for like 60 years or something.
Damn.
So, yeah, he's getting old now, so he can't really. He's He's a retired firefighter now, but he's got this big plaque. It's like a gold axe that's just it's so dope. But I figure I'd carry on family tradition, help out. It looks good on your resume and stuff too. So figure
helping out people, it's civil service. It's good. Like I just don't get a lot of like everyone is like, oh, fuck the pigs and all that shit. Like people don't like, they're not aware of the fact that like people like the cops, people like the fire department. They're out there doing shit for you.
I don't think really anybody has a problem with the fire department, but like police, I see like people saying, "Oh, pigs," you know. Honestly, that kind of like makes me mad, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything about it. It's kind of like maybe at least show some respect for the people that would come to your house if there was a burglary and everything.
They're putting their lives on the line.
Exactly. They're out there, you know, saving you. If you get into a car crash, who's going to be there first? Probably the police.
Yeah, first responders. Like, it's insane. I don't get... Like, they just get a bad rap. I don't get why they do. Especially with, like, all of, like, the Black Lives Matter shit. Like, it's weird because, like, it's so different because most of those cases come from the South. And there's, like... there's racism.
Every single story is so different, and no one really looks into them and defines what's different. I'm not going to get into it because it's a touchy subject. Yeah. But really, if you want to, you know, go out and protest and everything, you should at least get your facts straight, and you should know what happened and know what you're fighting for.
Be educated about it.
And you can't just assume that every police officer is like that. You can't assume that, you know, every case is the same, because sometimes maybe they had a gun in their passenger seat, or, you know, or it's honestly like if you're reaching for your seatbelt or something, you know, I could have a gun here, or I could be unbuckling my seatbelt. Right. They tell you to put your hands on the wheel, so you can't, you know, reach for anything. If they ask you to reach for something, then you reach for it in the glove box. Usually, you don't unbuckle your seatbelt. You know, you fix the radio, whatever.
And nobody takes into account that shit can fuck you up, like being a cop, being a fireman. You see a lot of shit. You see so much stuff.
There was a recent, I forget where it was, but this guy went and killed his like family, his two family members, then took the cops on a police chase, ended up crashing into like a Whole Foods, went into the Whole Foods, started shooting up the Whole Foods and everything. The cops had got into a 3-hour standoff with them, and the cops were shooting at him. And then one of the cops, I think this was in LA actually, and one of the cops actually hit a pedestrian or something like that.
Really?
So from the police officer's perspective, like that's like your whole life is just like, oh my god, I killed somebody. Like how am I gonna get past that?
Yeah, people go their whole lives now without even seeing a dead body, or maybe even not even a dead animal. Mm-hmm. Like imagine you're thrown into this lifestyle where you see bodies all the time. You see people like burning up, or you see people like on the side of the road.
It'll mess with you. Like I've never experienced anything insane like that, but I hope I never do. And it is like something, you know, it brings up like mental illness and stuff too. Yeah. If you see some fucked up shit, you know, it'll screw with you.
It will. Yeah, certainly. It's crazy though. Yeah. Well, like you were talking before how you work at golf course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that about? Like, what do you do there?
We go from murder to golf. Yeah.
Changing it up a little bit.
When my dad's the pro there, so he like teaches people and he takes care of all the everyday stuff.
That's sweet.
So he brought me along, and last January we got in there, and the last people there, they got like there was something like they were stealing money or something like that, or something was going on like that. So they all went up and left. Right. When we got in there was nothing in there. It was like a ghost town. It was just an empty room. Yeah. And me and my dad are in here now. We're like, well, where are we gonna get everything? My dad doesn't own it. We're under some management or something. So it was like a long process. The place in Jamesburg, we got all the furniture from there.
Better Living?
No. Wait. The place next to it.
Oh, okay.
I
think I know what you're talking about.
It's like I want to say Bed Bath & Beyond, but it's not that. It's like
same deal.
There's just a bunch of useless, old people stuff in there. But they had a bunch of old racks and stuff, and and all that. So we brought all that in and then started working there. When I was employed, I was supposed to be in outside services, meaning I clean the carts and clean the garbage and everything. Yeah. Now I'm just like a cashier, I guess. Oh, and cool. I'm pretty good with customers and everything. I have this one story though. And so it was the first nice day of the year. You know, everyone was trying to go out. Yeah. And we have this online booking thing. And it goes to our computer. There's like a list of who's there and who's coming and everything. Right. The online booking site didn't put their names on our thing. So we were fully booked from 7:30 when we opened until about noon. Shit. And then we had to squeeze in, you know, probably 6 different foursomes all into there also. So we were extremely busy. We have 20 carts there, 20 electric carts. All of them were out on the 9-hole course. Damn. So we had about an hour and a half wait, and my dad's running around. He's got the cart from maintenance, so he's driving around like a crappy like gas cart, and he's running around because there's carts dying, there's people, you know, complaining, and then this guy comes in. And he's like, "Hey, I'm here for my lesson." And I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Okay, let me go tell my dad." He was right outside. I said, "Dad, you have a lesson." He was like, "Oh, I'm too busy right now. I'm too busy."
Oh yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, what should I tell him?" He was like, "Okay, schedule later or another day." So I went back in, told the guy. I said, "We're really, really busy right now. I hope you understand. You're gonna have to come back later or book it for another day."
He wouldn't like that.
He did not like that at all. At all. He was like, "I made an appointment. I better get it right now, or else I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna, you know, make you give me free rounds and this and that."
A bad Yelp
and I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And he started getting more and more angry. Like he wasn't stopping. I was ready to call security and like have the security guards come in. Like it's like a gated community, so yeah. I was about to call security or something, and I called and I was like, "Dad, he's punching. He punched a wall." Like
really?
He got so mad. He was like, "I need an appointment." Boom, punched the wall.
Jesus.
It didn't leave him. It left like a little mark, no hole or anything. But
and he was unfazed by it. He punched a wall, and he wasn't like.
Oh no, he was definitely hurting. Like he wanted to strangle somebody. Like he was pissed
over a golf lesson.
Yeah. An hour lesson with his grandson or whatever. His grandson had the appointment, not him. He just brought his grandson along. He was like, "We drove here 40 minutes and we better get this lesson." And so I was like, "Dad," I got on the phone. I was like, "Dad, he's punching walls here. Maybe you should stop in and talk to him." My dad came in. This dude keep in mind, this dude like wanted to strangle somebody. Like, he was pissed. My dad came in, smile on his face. "Hi, my name's Scott. Nice to meet you." He was pissed, and so he shook his hand. And my dad gave him a lesson during the chaos. I handled everything inside, you know, telling people, "Oh, it's gonna be like another hour until you could get a cart and everything." Yeah. And it was just like a rough day. After I got done, I was like, "Man, I was burnt." But other than those kind of days, it's so boring around. No one's around.
Yeah. Like working jobs like that, you always have to have a good head, like a level head on things, and like just being like calm and like, "Oh hi," but like
I'm extremely nice to people when they first walk in, because I don't want them pissed at me. But if they get me to the point where I'm upset, that's when I'm gonna start saying, "Get out!" Like you can't like. Right. I'm very nice to people there because it's a golf course and you have a lot of respect.
Golf is a very relaxing game. I love golf. It's so much fun.
So I'm always telling people like there's a lot of rules and a lot of newer people don't understand that. Yeah. And like if someone's not wearing a collared shirt, you're supposed to wear a collared shirt. If someone's not wearing a collared shirt, I'm like, "Hey, I hate to be that guy, but you know, you should really, you know, be wearing a shirt if you don't live too far, or you could buy one."
A lot of people just go to like Top Golf and they're like, "Oh, this is probably what golf is like always," and they think it's just this casual game.
I love Top Golf though. It's really, it's pretty cool.
It's right by my dad's apartment. It's so great. It's literally like 5 minutes away. Yeah, it's really fun. Like I wanted to join the golf team for high school. Yeah. But the problem was Kelleher was like because the way that he organizes the schedule, it's like you can have practice on every other day.
Okay, no, I don't even get me started on this. I'm not. So I work and I have golf and then I have like, you know, family things I have to do. Right. And he doesn't tell you if you have practice until 8:00 at night.
That's what I figured. Yeah, that's what I figured.
I hate that. If you could tell me the week in advance, weather depending, that would be great. So I can schedule my work. Yeah. I can, you know, do that. And it's like a 50-50 every time. I'm like, well, I got to either, not go to work and, my dad will be pissed at me, or not go to a practice. You miss one practice, he will kick you off the team.
He will kick
You're
you
gone.
straight off the team.
The
problem, because I'm in the jazz band for the high school. Like, I'm the high school jazz band. So that's a spring, that goes throughout the spring. It starts like after, like, it starts in like December when marching band's over, and it goes into spring. And that's when golf season starts. So I wanted to do golf, like me and Jug Gigi, we went down to the first like the orientation practice. I don't remember. I don't think you were there though.
What year was this?
This is like sophomore year, I think.
I did it last year, and I did like one day for like sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this because I'm working and stuff. And I joined late because I tried out for baseball and I didn't make the team, so I joined golf late.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he let me, just practice with them at least. So I was on JV. I was like, oh, I don't deserve to be on JV. I deserve to be on varsity, which I didn't at the time. Now that I look back, I deserve to be on JV, and I should have just went to the practices. But now I've been playing like every day after work.
Right.
I just been playing. I've been practicing, and so this year I got my varsity letter last year.
Oh, really?
So I'll be varsity this year if everything goes well, and I've just been practicing like crazy. So hopefully it'll be a good year this year, and I'll go to all the practices and everything. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's sick. Well, I wanted to try out for the team, but I sat through the whole meeting. He was like, oh, blah blah blah, and then he was talking about how the scheduling works, how the scheduling process works. I was like, oh no, this probably isn't gonna work out that well. Yeah. So I told Jug, he's like, oh, just wait outside for me. I'll be like that, like a minute. And then I talked to him for like a minute. He's like, look, I'm in the jazz band right now, so I want to do both, but like.
He was probably like, no, it's a commitment or something like that.
And the problem, jazz band, it's 1 day a week. It's Monday. It's like Monday until like
usually we don't even practice at
3 o'clock. Yeah, on Monday until 3 o'clock. And I told him like I could run out there. I could. Is there a way you can make an exception? He's like, no, it's commitment. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time,
I mean, most coaches are like that. They're like, you need to be here. If you're not, then you're not going to play. Yeah.
I hear like high school sport, they're cutthroat. Like most of these high school sports are like cutthroat.
Yes, yeah. Football, it's
football
especially year long. It's crazy. Like football season starts in like August. Well, no, it starts earlier in like July, which is when they start practicing. August is like preseason games, and then September is like it goes off. And then after football, it's like you either do another sport or you go to the weight room and start lifting for football. It's like
football never ends. Yeah. I know a couple people who either like used to play in the team or still do, and they either just talk like how bad the management is, like how bad everything is.
Well, people always find an excuse if they're bad at football.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like it's it doesn't matter what team you're on, it doesn't matter what thing you're on. Coaches always choose favorites. They always choose the person who's always like at the top of their game all the time. Speaking
of that. Mr. Pat Droney, he is not a coach anymore for varsity baseball. At least that's what I heard.
What happened?
He's going to coach at a private school somewhere.
Oh.
But he's apparently still going to be a gym teacher here.
Oh.
So I don't know about that, but I'm glad, even though I don't play baseball anymore.
Was he a guy who chose
favorites? He chose favorites. Yeah. I'll straight up just say that. All my friends from Jamesburg, some talented kids. Matt Brucato, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I think I've heard. Yeah.
He's a very good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. He could throw fast. He could throw curves. Yeah. He could do all that. He tried out this last year. Cut. He said you don't throw fast enough. Like he didn't even make JV. Like not let alone varsity. He didn't make JV. Because he said he didn't throw fast enough. But he threw faster than the rest of the JV pitchers.
Yeah.
And the JV team, they needed pitchers this year. They were like, oh, well, we need another pitcher.
Yeah.
And
I used to play lacrosse.
I thought it was very unfair.
Yeah. I used to play lacrosse. I was in the same boat. Because, lacrosse, it's a completely different beast.
If you don't go to their camps that the coaches host, like Droney, he had his own camps that was a couple $100 for a few days. If you don't go to those and he doesn't know your name, there's no way you're making the team.
That's the problem. Like, you have to get right up into their faces and say, oh, pick me. You have to be, there.
You got to be there. And you got to spend a lot of money on them.
Yeah.
The more stuff you buy, the more fundraising you do. the more likely you'll join the
Right.
team. Or the more your parents know, the more money your parents have.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was always the bench warmer. I was always a bench because like I was like when I was younger, like especially in like middle school, I used to be like a very sporty kid, but like sporty in a sense where like I'd go to the games, I'd try my hardest, but I'd still not.
I played like every sport, and I never played anything really competitively. I played travel baseball when I was like 12.
Yeah.
But that's not very competitive. But I played so many different sports, and it was just rec or you know. So I did baseball, basketball, hockey. It was like floor hockey, soccer. What else? I never did football. My mom never let me play football because I was very.
I'll never play football.
I was very injury prone. I broke my knee in 6th grade. I broke my
Damn.
collarbone in 1st grade. You know, it was just like
She
She was never like. You never broke a bone.
No, well, like one time I was riding, like it was like 6 or something. I was riding my bike, and like my helmet was like it was like on the back of my head, like it was like a fucking yarmulke or something. So like I fell off my bike and I smashed my head on the pavement, and I didn't crack my head open or anything. It was literally just like a little bump, and I was crying like a bitch the whole time. But like with the back to like the bench warmer stuff, it sucks because I feel like I've wasted so much time trying to vie for like the coach's approval. Because like baseball is one thing, because I started playing t-ball when I was really young, and then I made my way up through the ranks baseball, and I was on travel team, and then I was on A team, then I was on B team, and then like I got this irrational fear of getting clocked with a ball. Like while I was up like to hit, so I was like I was always like flinching. But here's this really dick story like that I had. Like I was like 10 at the time, and those travel teams, they're mixed. They're mixed age groups.
Yeah.
So there's one older kid, this one dick kid. He was probably like 11 or like around that age. He was older than I am, by like a year or two. He intentionally, I knew this for a fact because it looked like he like laser guided the ball towards my shoulder, and you hear that shit happening like a lot because like people like they often do that shit, like they dick around and stuff like that.
And MLB, like there's rivalries and they'll intentionally throw a ball at you, and you know. They'll slam their bat down, throw their hat off, and charge them out and start a fight and everything. Yeah. Because like the Yankees, Red Sox. Like, are you a Yankees fan or Mets?
Mets. Yeah.
You look like a Mets fan.
But yeah, like he chipped me in the shoulder. It hurt terribly. It wasn't a chip. It was like like right there. It was like right in that area.
Yeah, if you get hit hard and you have bad memories of going up to hit the ball and you're scared now.
You're gonna be scared.
That's like I would skateboard a little and I would fall and I would be so scared of falling again that I like wouldn't be able to put myself to like keep trying to learn how to skateboard. I would just like be like, oh no, I'm just gonna fall again. I'm gonna scrape my knees again.
Yeah.
Like,
but that fear is past. Like, and then middle school, I started playing lacrosse. That was like the last sport I did because I went from baseball, then I stopped after that. I was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. And then I did basketball, and then I was never like good at that. I was good.
I'm terrible at basketball.
Basketball, I was good at like getting in everybody's faces and playing.
Like defense.
Yeah, I used to play super fucking dirty in basketball. I used to like trip people up all the time. I used to like push them over. I was like an angry little mess.
Back to your little 11-year-old versus 10-year-old incident where he hit you. I always remember playing with this kid. He was younger than me. He had like, if I was 12, I think he might have been like 10 or 11.
Right.
But he was always so much taller than me, so much bigger than me. He's a freshman right now. He plays varsity baseball and varsity football as a freshman. Damn. Right. He's 6'5", like 270 or something like that. He's huge, and he hasn't even stepped on the varsity football field yet.
Really?
Like he hasn't played a varsity game yet, and he's got like he has he might have played varsity football, but he has what do you call it? Like he got an offer from Rutgers already.
Really?
As a freshman.
Jeez.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
I'm curious to see if he's gonna do baseball or football because he's very good at baseball, but he's also huge and built for football. Like he would tank the ball when we were little. He would tank the ball. We'd be like, "Oh my God, he's up," and he'd bomb it over the fence every time. And this kid's 2 years younger than me. Like, we didn't get it. They were like, he's hacking. Like, how is he? He's doing steroids. Like,
imagine.
I'm very curious to see if he's going to choose baseball or football, because if he's going to do football, he'll go to a big school, and he might not go to the NFL.
Yeah, those football scholarships,
but
man,
they're hard. Like, he could go to Penn State, Michigan, D1 schools, and possibly make it to the NFL, which would be dope, because I was good, I was buds with him.
Yeah.
But baseball, he'll be varsity 4 years if he keeps up baseball.
Damn.
And he tanks it, but he's not really he's a slugger. He's not like a athletic, like that. So he'd be like someone who just hits home runs over and over again.
Yeah.
And if he goes and does his travel teams and everything, travels around the country, there's going to be college scouts that are like, hey, we want you. Right. Maybe at the end of high school, he'll get drafted straight from high school to the MLB.
Damn.
Which is possible. I don't even think you have to go to college for MLB, but for football, I think you have to do at least 1 year or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes.
And the draft for football as well. They draft
like basketball. I think you need to do at least 1 year now, and they're thinking of upping it to 2 years. I don't know, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was never the best at any sport, but
yeah, me neither.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
at
it's
least
fun. It's fun
I
when
played
you're
with
part
my
of something.
friends, and it was fun to do. So
especially with those team units, it's fun when you're a part of something. However, with lacrosse, the lacrosse kids I played with, they were dicks. Most of them were straight up dicks.
But I hated lacrosse players and the sport in general, just because the players were so cocky all the time. Yeah, I'm friends with a few lacrosse players now, but most of them are just terrible.
Most of them were cocky assholes. And it's such a physical sport too. So you get the cocky asshole on the other team try to kill you, trying to slash you with the stick. Yeah. But I was one of those kids who I was a bench warmer. It was run by the parents of said assholes sometimes. Some of them were, not all of them. But it was run by the parents. And the parent, sports parents, they choose their kids, and the kids immediate friends. So I was always the last to get picked because I just started middle school. A couple other kids were in the same boat as I am. We were the bench warmers group or something. And we were all attack. We were all how lacrosse works is attack, defense, midi. Midi, you run all around. Defense, you stay on your side. Attack, you stay on the other side. That's basically how it is. And basically, I played for a year. Actually, it was more like 2 because I used to play with Sal, a good friend Sal. Mm-hmm. I used to play with him just recreationally. But then it evolved into this more the competitive Monroe middle school team or whatever. Yeah. And there was this one coach on that team who wasn't a parent. He was this unbiased guy they just roped in to get the player time to be more equal. Mm. So I would get player time like that. I scored a couple of goals once or twice in a game. One time I scored 1. And I ran back. I was defeated because I thought I missed or something. I was and so I was you got it in. I was what the fuck?
You're probably what? Yeah.
Yeah. I was I just got my first goal. But anyway, the guy I don't know what happened to him. The coach, he was a really nice guy, but he was either fired or he left voluntarily. And then another dad filled his spot, and that basically nail in the coffin for my playing time. Well, and then I just quit after that.
We never had middle school sports in my middle school. We had maybe 60-some kids do a grade, which is not a lot. So they do now. The year after we left, they started doing middle school sports. They have soccer, wrestling, and basketball, I think.
Right.
But we never did that. We didn't have any sports. We had activity day, which was once a month. We all got off. If you're on the star student list or something, you got gold, silver, bronze. If you're on any of those, then you get to play in the activity day. If you're not on them, then you have to go into a classroom with a bitchy teacher and just sit there and do nothing while all the kids are in the gym all at once, playing tournaments.
That seems like a good incentive, I bet.
It is. It was so fun until about 8th grade, 6th, 7th grade. It was so fun. You look forward to it every month, and you want to be a good student so you can play in these games because it's so fun. And we started like my one teacher, Mr. Berger. He passed away like halfway through our 6th grade year, and he was such a good guy. He was a very good teacher and everything. He started that a few years back.
Oh, that's
and the new teacher, Mr. V, he was the JV baseball coach in Monroe. He took over and kind of kept that going, which was good. Yeah. But it kind of got worse and worse after a while. I mean, 8th grade it was fun because the 8th grade boys, they dominated every year, and you made teams by yourself. So, you could choose anybody you want that's on that star list, and you get to make that team and play the sport. So it was dodgeball, soccer, basketball, volleyball, all that, and so every single year we would get dominated by the 8th grade boys. Like it would be like the top kids in your school. So it would be like big 8th grade boys playing against little 5th grade,
that's usually
6th
how it
grade
is,
kids, and you'd get pelted with dodgeballs. Like it's just like that. But once we got to 8th grade, the teams were different because you were forced to have at least 2 girls on your team, forced to have certain people on your team. You didn't have as much freedom as you could, but those were really fun. And then 8th grade we got electives for the first time. We never had electives or anything. It would just be core classes, no so we got electives, and there was a sport elective, which was like another gym class, and it was so cool.
Damn.
And the first morning period was soccer.
Oh, right.
It would just be like an hour of soccer in the middle of the day. It was
cool.
So fun. And he made our teams, Mr. V, he made our teams. This was 8th grade. And my team, we were Real Madrid, which is a big soccer club. And so we would always play like the different, I think it was like 5-on-5, like goalie and 4 other
games like that.
And just we had like a very light soccer ball, so like nobody could really get hurt playing it, and it was in the gym.
Right.
So it was just cool. Like you hung out, you played soccer, and then at the end of the marking period, you had like a tournament or whatever at the end. And so my team made it with another team into the final game, and there was this kid Edzon. Do you know Edzon?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
He's an upcoming,
yeah,
somebody. Anyways, he was really good at soccer.
Right.
And I don't know why he stopped, but
he's really good.
He was really good at soccer. So it was like me and him and one other person was like the best on the team.
Yeah.
And he was a ball hog, not gonna lie. He took the ball and shot every ball for himself. Yeah. So in the final game, I scored 3 goals. I got a hat trick, and we won the game.
Yeah.
And that, to me, at the time, I was like, oh my God, I'm so good at soccer. That's why I went into high school doing soccer when I didn't play soccer outside of, the elective. So
right.
I was like, oh, soccer, I scored 3 goals in the game.
Because sports like that, they're fun.
This will be a breeze.
Yeah.
I get to the practices, he makes us run 5 miles. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
And freshman year soccer for me was just terrible.
Yeah, like now in gym, like I normally just walk around or chill with my
I'm
friends.
in strength, so I work out. I think it's a good workout class.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
A lot of guys are telling me I should have done that. Should have done strength.
It's like I don't have a license to go to a gym outside of school, so I was like, well, I could just take my gym block,
right,
where you're with people you don't really like. I'll just work out instead.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the gym is more like a social period now, if anything.
I guess so, yeah.
Especially when you're older.
None of the teachers make you do stuff. Maybe like Miss Kelly.
Yeah, they're mostly just glorified babysitters, if anything.
Yeah.
That's mostly just teachers now in general, when you think about it. Like, a lot of them are really passionate about what they do, and they make you do shit a lot, and that's really good. A lot of them are really bitchy, and they make you do a lot of grudge work.
Most of my teachers, they were like, if you get changed, I'll give you an A. That's all they said. Like, they didn't make us stretch anything.
Some of the teachers, just wouldn't even, my friend Alex, he doesn't get changed at all. And my friends Alex and Andrew, they don't get changed at all. And they don't, Jeroni always waves his finger at him. He's like, you better change now. You better do this. I'll give you all zeros. And then nothing happens.
I'll give you all zeros.
I love it. He sounds like the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks, Dave Seville, that guy. He sounds like he's really good. I overheard him talking with one of the dance, the dance elective teachers. Mm-hmm. I heard 2 of them talking. They were talking about how basically how like kids aren't allowed to do any fun shit anymore in gym. They're like, oh, you can't do dodgeball anymore, man. That sucks.
Yeah,
and
that was bullshit. Like I remember in like 9th grade, they're like, oh, we can't play dodgeball anymore because it's illegal in New Jersey or something like that.
It's stupid. Like some kid probably wasn't paying attention, got pelted in the face, fell over, cried.
Parents sued. There goes everything. There goes the fun for the whole state.
And I've went to a couple board meetings. Like our school is such on a flimsy budget as is. A well-placed lawsuit will kill the entire board of ed.
That's something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like our new principal.
Oh, we have a new principal. Really? Goodall's out?
Magic Pro.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Madge, what a man.
Yikes. And then I told you, I said Jeroni's out of there for high school, and Mr. Colella came in like last year, right?
Yeah.
Madge being principal is going to be something. You don't
want to be on Madge's most wanted.
New iPads coming. Tech can't handle. Tech's not going to be able to handle.
They couldn't even handle the last batch of iPads. Because look, I feel like we're because Goodall. He always talks about we're the envy of the whole state. I'm like, we didn't ask for this. We were placed into the school system. It's a really good it's. From the outside looking in, it's a very good school system, but when you're on the inside, it's shit.
Well,
it's
yeah,
terrible.
from the outside, it's like, oh, they all have iPads, and
the facility looks good.
They have great campus and good. We don't have that good of teams now because we're moved up a division. Yeah. We're in the red division now. We were in like the white division, and we were like dominating the white division.
On the inside, it's a shit show every day. Like most of the teachers are either dismissive as fuck, and they're either trying to be your friend or trying to be your enemy. Like they're so pissed off, like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm glad I'm retiring. Here, do this work. One of my teachers actually said that last year, like last week of school, when the kids weren't doing like their finals packets. One of my math teachers, and they were just talking. He's just like, oh, I'm just so glad I'm retiring. I don't have to deal with you kids anymore. And it was like, whoa, where did that come from?
So, who's your top 3 teachers in the school? Your favorite 3 teachers?
Top 3? Like this year?
All 4 years. Like the top teachers in the school.
I have to say, this is so hard because high school, it's just like this Shakespearean mess of like drama. There's kids like, oh, fuck her, fuck him, he double crossed me, ew. And then you have the teachers who's like, I will give you work until you go to sleep, until you cry yourself to sleep. And then you have like the stick out teachers who are like really good people, both like in the workplace and not. So it's just such a hard question. Like a couple of like my favorites. Comey is one of my favorites. He's like the Italian teacher. One of the Italian teachers.
I've never had him, but I literally had him for every single PSAT, PARC, all the standardizing tests. I had Mr. Comey, be my spectator or whatever.
He's such a good guy.
He is.
Let me think. Who else? My 2 video production teachers. The 2 video production teachers were Mr. Loddick and Miss Miller.
Yeah,
I've
never talked to them.
They're really good. They know their shit. They know what they're talking about, and like they really introduced me into like my passion, for lack of a better word, because I really like doing this stuff. Ever since like freshman year when I started with VP, because most people take like the entry VP class because it's an entry class and it gives you credits. Yeah. And I think
I always wanted to take that, but I never had really extra electives because I was in Avid and everything. Right. So that took away one. And I did like what's it called, economics last year, like the year before sophomore year. Yeah. Yeah. And so like I didn't have too many electives. Like freshman year I did something with engineering. Absolutely hated that. Yeah. And then the next year I had that, and like what else did I have? I don't even remember.
Right. They're on the right track.
That might have been my only one.
Like with it,
you only get one freshman year, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you get 2, but Avid took up 1, so that leaves you with 1 there. Sophomore year, I took economics, and that might have been my only one too.
This high school, like the core curriculum, I hate Common Core. I hate they're on the right track with all like. Oh, electives, you get to choose what you want to do. But it's not really because you still have to take the mandatory courses. I understand why you have to take some of the courses, but others, they just seem so... Like, why do I have to take 3 years of science? Like, it doesn't... Like, unless you want to be a scientist or work in that field, it doesn't really matter when you think about it.
I mean, I don't really understand it. I mean, some stuff you'll know. Like biology, I think you should take biology. Everybody needs to take biology.
I love biology, though. I love zoology, too. Animals, I love them. They're so good.
Chemistry, I mean, I don't know. It could spark something. Maybe you'll want to be a chemist.
I think that's what they're going for. Like, with these like, they probably just want to spark something in kids to see, like, what they want to do. Because
nothing's worked on me. I have no clue what I want to do.
I want to do this for the rest of my days. Filmmaking, doing, like, podcast stuff,
cool.
filming.
I mean,
it's cutthroat. It's very cutthroat, but if it works out...
You gotta grind hard in like, anything online, YouTube, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with YouTube, so to speak. Like, it's YouTube right now, for me, it's my dumping ground of, like, whenever, like, if I want to do stuff like that. I used to, like, do gaming videos all the time.
My friend started making Minecraft videos, like, 4 years back.
Yeah.
I would do that with him. He still has old videos, like, on there of us playing Minecraft Hunger Games. Yeah. And he would start editing that. And he's like, hey, I kind of like editing, making videos like that. So now he goes to Votech and does video production and filmmaking and everything. And so now he's like going into that. And he wants to go to school for that and pursue that in the future. So that little Minecraft, recording, that could start a whole future for him.
Yeah, we live in an age now where you can figure.
We live in a society.
Yeah, we live in a society where you can figure out what you want to do and do it right off the bat, especially from a young age.
I'm having trouble with that though. I don't know what I want to do. Nothing's really sparked me so much that I just want to keep doing it. I have hobbies I like doing. I like photography. I like golf. I like guitar. I play guitar now.
Right.
And nothing's like I want to keep going and do that in the future. Like I'm just kind of like I don't know. I want money.
I play drums too. Like it's. I'm really into music. I love playing music, but I realize you're not really gonna make a living off of.
Yeah, probably not.
I've always treated playing drums as a hobby, not really like
a career.
As a career, yeah. Like for me, like school and like film work, colleges and all that stuff, that comes first, as opposed to like band stuff. Like that's how it's always been.
Honestly, music really, like, I love music.
Yeah.
And I never really noticed I liked music until, like, a few years ago. And I was, like, I started listening to, like, the first few artists I listened to, it was, like, country, because my mom listened to country.
Right.
So I got into, like, the Rascal Flatts. They were, like, country rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was in the Cars movie also. Like, Life is a Highway, right?
Yeah.
That was my first concert I ever went to. It was Rascal Flatts. I just recently saw them, too.
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
How were they?
They're really good, actually. Like I still really enjoy all their music. So that's
PNC is a really good place.
That's like what started my music, and then I got into like I had a lot of weird phases of music. I got into like Eminem, and I got into like pop, and then I got into like I want to say Nickelback. I almost got into Nickelback. as bad as that sounds, but what's that one? The Skillet. I listened to Skillet. It's Christian rock. I mean, and then that carried on. I got into like in this middle school now. I started listening to like emo music, like Fall Out Boy, all that. I was never like emo or anything, but I like the music, and then that carried on, and then society starts making me like hip hop and all that. So I have respect for all sorts of genres, and now I listen to like heavy rock, almost metal.
Right.
And I also love like pop punk, like State Champs or, all that kind of like pop punk. I like metal. I like rock. I went to country concerts. Like I have respect for all types of music. I don't hate a certain type of music, and I like things about different artists even if I don't completely like their music or vice versa. If I don't like them but I like their music.
Right.
I like reading about them or like listening to stuff. And then like finding out about their music and everything, I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just listening to music, I always listen to music.
Yeah, me too. I've always got earbuds in, headphones on, always listening to shit.
How long have you been playing the drums?
Since I was like 8.
Oh, really?
Probably. I started out this place called Academy of Music. I don't think it's around anymore.
I got drum lessons once. It might have been from there, honestly.
Really? It's over by Ralph's. It's over by like the Italian Ices over there.
Yeah, I might have gotten drum lessons there.
I used to take lessons there with one of the teachers there. He's in the district now, but I knew him before he became part of like the music and all that shit in district. Band is a whole topic because like I've been in band since elementary school. I've been part of it for the longest time.
My guitar maybe like almost like, how old am I? 16. Probably like 7 years ago. Like I got it like at a young age. Not that young, sorry. More like 6. Yeah, about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was my first guitar. My mom signed me up for lessons and everything with some guy that she knew.
Right.
I hated the guy. I hated the lessons. I didn't like reading sheet music.
Right.
And
I
had no interest in it. I picked it up a while ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. I started playing again. I was like, I didn't need anybody. I just looked online and was like, okay, I could learn this. Start out with a song that I like. Go on from there.
Covers on YouTube.
Yeah,
like stuff. You're more of an audio guy. I'm like the same way.
Yeah.
Like I can't read sheet music. I still can't.
I look at tabs, and that helps me. And I know a lot of chords, and I got an acoustic guitar from some dude on the street in Englishtown, and I got a Epiphone Les Paul from Mia.
Damn.
So she sold that to me, and I play in my free time whenever I have time.
That's sweet. Yeah, but like it's a completely different thing with drumming because like there's no rules really to drum. As long as you stay in time and you sound pretty fucking sweet, then that's basically
you're the one that sets the tempo.
Yeah, I'm like you're like the head honcho.
Do you listen to the clicks like when you play? Do you like?
No, not really. It's more of like you get into the feel of it and then you're in. Yeah. It's like this pocket.
I don't know how people can like play to the.
With like the metronome clicks, yeah. I honestly can't do that because then like you miss hearing it for like 2 seconds and then you like try to get back onto it.
Well, do you jam with anybody? Like do you?
Yeah, I used to be part of a performance group.
Oh yeah, I remember you would like post on your story about that.
Yeah, I used to be in this performance group in East Brunswick. They were the same, like the way the guy ran it. I've always had like issues with it, but I was naive and I was like young at the time. I was like, oh, as long as I'm playing, I'm having fun with my friends. It's so fun. It's cool. But like as time went on, I just got kind of sick of it because it was the same thing with the sports shit.
Yeah.
He chose favorites. He had his little gang of favorites who he plastered everywhere on like the Instagrams and the Snapchats and all that shit. I sound like an old man when I say that. Yeah, but like he always chose favorites and shit. But then like it wasn't until I got into like this thing called like the house band that they do. It's like it's basically a travel band. Like they go across the state performing. And it wasn't until I got into that where I was really like this place probably isn't the best for me cuz like I constantly was like thrown into situations where shit was on me.
It was probably like hold you to doing this. You do this. You do this. You do this. You have no freedom, I guess. Is that like? Yeah,
because like the thing was, I played one show. It was like a year ago, or like a year or two ago. I played like a Pink Floyd show they did. I took the summer off because I had band. I took the summer off and the fall off because I'm marching band. It's every day. Every day you're doing this, and like the schedule wouldn't fit. And plus, I had one of the first competitions on the same day as one of my shows, and the show was running super behind. So I was telling him I have to get out of here, man. I have to leave. I was telling the guy who was running, I have to leave, and he's like, no, you gotta play your stuff. It'll be real quick. Come on, it'll be real quick. And my dad was like staring him down like a hawk. He was like, you better get this done fucking quick because we gotta leave. But like I took the summer off, I took the fall off. I came back the next spring. It was like a completely different atmosphere, completely different like feel to it. It felt like I was in a fucking Twilight Zone episode. I was like, what is this? Everything feels different yet oddly familiar. And then like some of my friends were there, some new people were there who I really like. I still talk to a lot of those people. But like as soon as I joined that like travel band thing, I knew that there was something fundamentally wrong with like the way that the guy was running it and the way that everything was happening. Because one time I was going to a college tour in Syracuse. but we had a show like the next week. But since like he was the one canceling, the guy running, he was the one canceling all the practices every week, like because practices were on Saturdays, like every Saturday. And then people started flaking, like, oh, I can't do this Saturday, I can't do this, which I was like, kind of like, all right, but then again, you signed up for this, you should have those days free. Yeah. But then he was canceling them as well. He was like, oh, I have stuff this day, I can't do that. I have stuff this day, I can't do that. And then the week of my trip to Syracuse, he threw like 3 practices out of the blue. One on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and one on Friday, which is the day I was... Saturday, which was the day I was going up to Syracuse. The problem, I was traveling from I was gonna leave like my house on Thursday with my dad. We were gonna drive up there, and Saturday that was the tour. Tuesday I had another band thing which I couldn't do, and he was mad at me. He was pissed. He was fuming, like, because we have like this little communications app thing. Yeah. And like he was like texting me like nonstop. He's like, what the fuck? Like, everyone was there. Everyone watched. Everyone saw what was happening. And he was like, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you have a commitment. You have all this stuff. And it's like, look.
At that point, I just feel like, fuck that.
Yeah, I was like, look, I have school. It's a completely different realm from... And plus, like, people get a lot of shit who go there, too, because they do sports as well. Like, some of them do track, some of them do dance. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. And he's like, oh, yeah, you better be. And then, like, as the season from like, the travel band thing went on, he just got more and more stressed. He got more and more in people's faces, more... Like, at one point, he was just like, we suck. You guys fucking suck. Get out. He was like, leave. Get out. Get the fuck out. Like, the practice is over. And, like, every week, he was, like, lecturing us. I was like, I'm just sick of this shit. If you're going to be that negative about it every week, you're not going to... Yeah. It's not going to fix anything. Nothing's going to get done. So, I played one of my last shows because you have to be, like, involved in, like, their little seasonal program to be part of the travel band. Mm-hmm. More money, I guess. But, I told him I can't because of band, and he's like, well, you know what that means. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be the last thing. So I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to throw everyone for a loop. And at the time, I was kind of like, maybe I'll come back. But now I'm definitely not going back because, like, I'm doing so much better off by myself because, like, I'm kind of in a band now. I'm, like, in a band with, like, these kids in our school. They're sophomores, juniors, I mean. And we're going to be playing in August at the Middlesex County Fair. And it's really cool because, like, I've never thought... Because I used to be in a band. I used to be in a band way back in middle school. I never thought that I'd probably do shit like that again because...
Who's in your band?
Now?
Yeah.
Do you know Sarah Mariano?
No.
One of them lives in Red Bank, and the other one's also a junior. And I bet you.
Are they in our school or no?
Yeah, they're except for the bass player. He used to go to our school, and now he lives in Red Bank.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're all really cool people. They're really, really talented. It was the same with that place too. But the only problem was there was so much potential with so many different people. Yeah. But since they weren't his favorites, or since like his parents got in their face, or like. Yeah, he just didn't give them the light of day. It was the same with me. Like, I was always the last person to be notified about things. I was always the last person to know when shit happens, where shit happens, like what songs I'm on. It was nuts. At one point, he was even like, because after every show, he was like, that was bad. That was pretty bad. We're gonna have to do some damage control next week. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, really? You can't give us a good job, really? For morale, at least.
I would not enjoy that at all.
That's how marching band. That's the complete opposite with marching band. Because marching band, two of my favorite guys, two of my favorite teachers, Mr. Hadger, Mr. Griffin, they are so like in sync. They're so locked in. They give you a schedule months before any shit happens. They give you all this shit, and like you either fit into their thing or you're a weak link. Band, it's so band gets like a bad rap. It's like, oh, the nerdy band nerds and all that. It takes a lot. It takes a real lot.
Yeah, like,
physically
I'd
and mentally.
I'd like to go see, like, you know, someone's talking shit about band. I'd be like, why don't you go do it?
Yeah.
Like, people always say that shit about golf. Like,
yeah.
oh, you play golf. Old people, you know, only old people play golf. Why don't you? I'll bring you out. Why don't you come show me
how good you are at golf?
How hard golf is.
Yeah.
Like,
golf and band, they're in the same umbrella where it's mentally and physical skill. You don't have to just be a slugger and you're like just knocking balls like Happy Gilmore. You have to like be in the mindset. You got to know what to do. You got to be calm, be level, and it's a fun game. It's really good.
The thing with golf is, you know, people are like, oh, golf, you know, whatever. Everyone's gonna want to play golf when they get older. Like literally, like it might be when you're in your 20s or in your 30s or when you're in your 70s
so
and you have
relaxing.
nothing else to do. Yeah. You're gonna want to play. And when you're, you know, we're young now, so you know it's fun now. And then once you get older, your boss is gonna want to play golf. And then if you want to raise, you go play golf with them and say, hey, yeah, can I get a little something?
Let them win.
You're gonna need it in business, and then you're gonna need it when you get old, when you have nothing else to do.
But rot in a chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But band, it's kind of the same thing because, well, band, it's not really relaxing. It's the complete opposite. It's the other side of the coin. It's stressful as fuck sometimes. Because we start in August. Band camp, whoever thought of band camp is a fucking demon. Because band camp, it's 2 weeks of us standing out in a field for like 5 hours. For like sometimes, we have water breaks occasionally, but like 2 hours straight, 2 to 3 hours straight, we're standing on a field. Just burning in the sun, and we get water breaks like every like 25 minutes, half hour. It is insane. It is insane. But it's like probably the hardest part of the whole process, and then from there it's all relatively easy. You either like do your part or you slack. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, and like it really pisses me off when people like are so ignorant about it, like with like sports like golf and like I don't know, fucking bowling or like shit like that. Because like,
what the hell is bowling?
Yeah,
it's something I do on like a Friday night.
Yeah,
you know, when people are playing it like competitively, I'm like,
just because
I forgot you could do that.
Just because we do something and we think it's fun, we think it's really good, doesn't mean that it gives you. It doesn't mean you
do what you love, people.
Yeah, do what you love, fun what you love.
Don't listen to anybody talking shit about whatever you do. Just do it, and they'll ignore you. And if they don't, then whatever. What do they have? Like, you know, I sit the bench on the lacrosse team, like instead of starting varsity golf, like, you know.
In the sports thing, it'll pass. Sports, it's more of a thing.
Everybody's gonna get over it. Like,
it's more of a thing you do when you're young, if anything, because like. Even like pros,
unless you're like a superstar when you're like, if you're growing up, you're 12 and you're amazing at and you're the best, and maybe you can pursue it professional. But the odds of you going pro is like very small. So.
And even if you do make it, you're only in it for like 5 years tops, and you're out.
Yeah,
because
once you're above like 30, you're considered old.
Yeah, out of shape. And then fucking, like, this one snobby cheerleader bitch who graduated, like, a year or two ago. She was, like, because I have a varsity jacket for band. I have, like, a big drum on the back. Yeah. And he was like, oh, they're giving out varsity letters for band now? What is that? I was like, are you serious?
Turn around.
Are you serious? Yeah. Especially when you see, like, what they do, like, what the cheerleaders do with the football games. Like, most of them look like the fucking Walking Dead.
Cheer is not a sport. I don't think cheer is a sport.
Cheer isn't really a sport. Cheer is more
maybe if it's competitive, like if you're doing all
competitive cheer is a different beast.
It's rigged anyways.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming that it's rigged, but I don't think cheer is a sport at all.
Yeah. When you think, like, I've talked to people who've done cheer before. High school cheer and competitive cheer, completely different.
Yeah, you go down to like Orlando and then do your whatever.
Yeah.
And then whoever pays the most money wins.
Yeah. There are plenty of cheerleaders who are talented on the team.
Sure.
But then again,
I'd like to do flips and shit like that. That's crazy.
Like, what pisses me off the most, probably the most, like, talented and most passionate one on the team is this gay guy. And he doesn't even have pom-poms. They didn't even give him fucking pom-poms. I'm like, that's fucked up. If he wants
pom-poms, give the man some pom-poms.
Give the man some pom-poms, people. He's the most passionate one on the team. He's the one doing the most, like, moving around the most. He's, like, the one doing the most flips and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, just give the guy some pom-poms, for fuck's sake. Jesus. And that stuff pisses me off a lot. Like, people who are just ignorant and like, I think, like, people who think they have it so much better than you do. You get that a lot from the jockey crowd. Yeah. Like, the cocky jocks from a lot of them. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of kids who've, like, done... Like, I talked about, like, how shit, like, the lacrosse experience was, like, how shitty, like, lacrosse kids are. But I know a lot of kids who play lacrosse who are good guys. Yeah, Sal's a good guy. A couple of kids from, who went to St. John's, St. Joe's, I forget which one it was. But, two of these guys, Michael and Bobby, they're probably one of my two favorites from the team. Like, Bobby.
Did he go to Monroe?
Bobby Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know of him, yeah.
And Mike Cardinale.
I don't know him.
No, I think he moved away, like before like high school or something. But like, they're two really good guys. They were kind of like the de facto leaders because like they have really good like leadership skills. They know how to like.
Whoever has the best flow is the captain.
Yeah. I'd say Bobby had the best flow, to be honest. Bobby blew Mike out of the water.
Matt McHale's got a pretty good flow.
He got a pretty sick flow.
He's up there, yeah.
He's all right. I talk like the problem is like you get this impression when they're like in it, when they're like their adrenaline's pumping. He's like, oh, you do this, you do that. Like I've talked to people like that, like Anthony and Matt. They're good guys. I like talking to them. They're really good people. Others, they're straight up dicks everywhere. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like, but you get that a lot with the cocky jock aesthetic. Most of them break the mold, and they're really good people.
The typical high school movie, like the jocks and the nerds. It's not like that though. Do you think it is? Like, do you think like
high school? Like, there's a difference. There's a major difference between high school and Hollywood high school. Have you seen 13 Reasons Why?
Yeah.
Like basically, it's the complete opposite of what that show is.
Yeah, that's like, I don't think any school is like that.
It's what like 40-year-old men think what high school is like.
Yeah, like my mom's like, oh, I don't want to watch that because what if that's happening to someone in school?
It doesn't.
I'm like, Mom,
it's dramatized incredibly.
I honestly couldn't even get through season 2 because it got that annoying to me.
I know a couple of people who watched it for the meme and I was like, why? There's like literally no point. It sucked.
I think the first season was good, but the second season, I feel like they just carried it on. Like they did leave like an ending that was like, oh, what happened? It had you thinking, and then it's like, well, we need to tell them now, so let's make another season. And
it's insane. Like what I said before, like it's very Shakespearean, like with high school, especially with the Hollywood dramatized version of high school. It's like
I don't see like
there's betrayal.
I don't see big senior jocks pushing around little freshmen in the hall. It's like
it's more of just like. It's more of like a discrimination thing, like in Silent Predator. It's like, oh, fucking freshman, I swear. It's more of that, as opposed to like, oh, freshman Friday. It's not like that.
Next year, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I remember that coming into high school. Like freshman Friday, that wasn't even a thing.
Yeah,
nothing happened.
They just like to scare you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be a senior, and I'm gonna be like, oh, stupid freshman, getting in my way. But I was probably at that point in one time in my life too. So.
But seeing most of like the freshmen now and the middle schoolers, like the incoming people now, a lot of them are dicks. A lot of them are just straight up like they're not disciplined.
I don't like. I have a lot of they're juniors now, friends. But sophomore, freshman, I don't know anybody in those grades, and I don't like most of them. So.
I know a couple juniors now who I didn't really like. I used to despise like a while, like when they were freshmen. And I was like, it's another thing because it's maturity. They mature. Yeah. Like they that's how high school is. You start off as like a little asshole punk, and then you turn into this.
But I wasn't like that. I
wasn't like that either. I don't remember being like that either.
I didn't talk to anybody freshman year except for my Jamesburg friends. Like I didn't reach out and talk to anybody. Yeah. Sophomore year, I was like, okay, I'll try and talk to some new people in my grade. And this last year, I've started talking to a lot of sophomores, and you make one friend that's in the lower grade. They start you meet their friends, and then you become friends with them. So now I have a lot of like junior friends, right? And I also have a decent amount of like friends that I fuck with. Like I'm not just gonna like call them my friends if they're not my friends and they talk shit about you. Like
it's insane.
You gotta like
again Shakespearean. Like there's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of shit like that. It's.
It's just
rough.
not like over dramatized.
Yeah,
like in
there's no.
movies and
I
stuff.
bet there's not a single kid in those bathrooms slitting notches into their arms and shit and complaining like, yeah. I bet that's not even real. And with that, I think that's a good time to end it.
Good. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. 13 years. Barrett, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah. I'll gladly welcome you back if you want.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, have a guest here or something.
Yeah.
Someone else.
You're my first guest. It was really good. Sweet. All right. Until next time.
Peace.